Hello you guys, this video is looking very unprofessional. It just so happens to be 12 a.m. But I just watched my friend's book video of the year with her on the couch, and like, regardless of it being late, regardless of me looking like shit in my literal strawberry fucking hoodie, I was like, it's time. Like, it's time to film the book video. I actually already filmed this. It was horrible. I rewatched it. The energy was so low. And I think for some reason that the solution to that problem is filming at 12 a.m. Don't even ask. It's been a long day. No, it hasn't. I did homework. Then I went to Walmart. I went to two Shoppers. And then I went to Border Burrito. And it was honestly fantastic. Then I played Fortnite. Anyways, God, who have I become? We're gonna be talking about my favorite books of 2024. It's kind of late to be filming and uploading this, but like I said, I hated the first one. I couldn't do that to you guys. Bore the fuck out of you like that. So we're filming a new one today, and let's hope it goes better than that one. Let's just get straight into it. The first book we're starting off with that I read this year was Anger is an Energy by John Lydon. I have my Goodreads in the back right there. This book, I don't even know if it's right to rate biographies. Like, I've considered just not rating them at all because it feels like I'm giving the person a bad... Hi. My roommate's going by. And my best friend. Don't forget it. It feels like I'm giving the person a bad rating as like a human being, and it makes me feel really bad. But I gave this... What did I give this, actually? What did I give this? Oh, damn. I gave it 2-star. See, that's really bad for me. I'm like super easy to please. Every book I've ever read, I pretty much like. I think there's only 2 books my entire lifetime that I've DNF'd, and I can actually only think of one right now. But I'm just like assuming there was a second one. Like, there has to be, right? And I'm usually pretty good at like figuring out what I like. John Lydon, the lead singer of the Sex Pistols and Public Image, whatever the last part is, LTD, whatever. He is such an icon, obviously, and he was a big inspiration to me in high school. Me acting like high school was forever ago, literally 2 years ago. Not even. Well, kind of. Actually, I don't know, can't do math. But I loved him. I was like obsessed with him. I was watching the show Pistol. I was watching all of his interviews. Like, oh my God, I just loved the Sex Pistols. I had a really big phase. So I loved the guy, but it's just like his book, he did shed light on some things that I would have been interested in hearing about, like his time with the Sex Pistols, his take on what happened with Sid Vicious, and just his life growing up. But and the first part was very interesting. Like, he contracted some sort of disease in a very strange way. I can't remember what it was, but basically it made him like he was like in a coma. It made him lose his entire memory, and he had to like restart fresh. Like, it was interesting, but I think just the way it was written was a little bit problematic for me because I wasn't nearly as interested as I thought I would be, and it was very long. It was very long, and he just kept talking about random things, like how much he loved his iPad, and I was so confused. Like, there'd be pages and pages of, I love my iPad, like this is so great and convenient. And I was just like, I know, I totally get it, man, but like, damn, I can't really sit through 5 pages of this. And like how he like got a cut on his body, like it was just strange like stuff that was so irrelevant. And like, if it's his biography, like he can do whatever he wants. It just didn't live up to my expectation, and I had a really hard time getting through it. And I could so see him like bossing his editor around. Anyways, horrible book to start this video off of, because I feel like no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about, so let's just move on. Then we moved on to Radio Silence. Pretty sure I gave this book a 3. Let's see, the cover is so beautiful. Yeah, I gave it a 3. If you watch Paperback Dreams at all, Kat on YouTube, she's kind of stopped posting now, which is very unfortunate, but she was like an icon in the booktube community. This was her favorite book, so I had always really wanted to read it, and I did really like it. It was sweet. It kept me pretty engaged. It was an easy read. It was super accessible. It was sweet. It's just this girl, and she's pretty relatable. She just lives an average life. She's trying to get into this university, working really hard to get into this university, and she is a part of this like fanzine type thing, or no, it's like a podcast or something that she likes, and she makes fan art for it. And then anyway, she ends up becoming friends with the creator, and it's super fun. It's not for me, like it's not my kind of cup of tea, but I did enjoy it. Okay, I'm here editing this now, and I just wanted to say like the themes didn't really strike a chord with me.
as much. I see why it affects some people. It just didn't as much affect me, which is why like it was good, but it wasn't anything like I'll remember it forever.
I then read The Troop, and let me just tell you, this was the best book of the entire year. The Troop is fucking fantastic. To me, it was only marketed as a body horror book, so that's all I knew going into it. It's very like similar to Stephen King's writing. It really reminds me of that. It's just to me, it is so much more than just a body horror book. Okay, it's like about these boys. They're all Boy Scout troopers. They go to this island off the coast of Prince Edward Island. It's set in Canada, which is pretty cool. That's where I'm from. Basically, the whole idea is like, honestly, it's a book about tapeworms. It's a book about worms. It's a book about worms, and it had such an impact on me. I literally rated it 5 stars. I remember when it finished, I was in my dorm bathroom, like screech crying, praying no one was gonna open the door and come in and see me in that condition. Extremely embarrassing. Mascara running down my face, and it's a book about worms. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's just, it reminds me of Stephen King in the sense of like, not only is it just a horror book and the horror is done really well, it's body horror, so it's just something that like we can all relate to it when you read it. Like, it could happen to anyone, like something similar. So it's just like it icks you out. It's freaky, it's uncomfortable. Everything that touched me for the next like 2 weeks after reading it, I was like freaking out, which is so unlike me. It takes a lot to scare me, but this book freaked me out in a way that not many books are able to. Sorry, I cut my bangs. I'm just like realizing how uneven they are. Anyways, and not only that, but it was paired with the characters being so intricate. I knew all their dreams, what made them tick, their little personality traits, their characteristics. I was so engaged and just like in tune with all of them and cared for most of them so much, and like the bond that they had with each other and just everything about it. And then to see them go through like such hardship, and just like you'll see as you go through the course of the book like what they have to endure. I can't believe it that I'm saying this about a book about worms. I just actually can't believe it. But like, it literally struck a chord with me. It was written amazing. I was so obsessed with Nick Cutter after reading this book. I want to read everything he's ever written. I still haven't, because I've had a hard time spending money on books when I have so many that I still need to read. But I friended him on Goodreads. I was gonna like mail him a letter, but then life just got so busy and I couldn't. I never figured out how to get it to him. Anyways, no one cares. But I just fucking loved it. Everyone should read it. And if you're into horror, it's a must read. It's a must read. It's not just any horror book. It literally ripped my fucking heart out, okay? And the ending had me fucked up. Best book of the year. Amazing. I read it on the way to Seattle, and I could not put it down until I finished it. It was amazing. Anyways, next book is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This one was one I wish I had picked up sooner. Everyone was recommending it, and I was like, I know it's gonna be good. I gave it a 5 stars. I finished this and was just in literal shock. If you are super into like, you know, Taylor Jenkins Reid is really good at writing about like Hollywood gossip and the world of LA and just like that California vibe. Like, you can feel the sun hitting your skin. You can feel yourself tanning as you read this book. Like, it's just, the vibes are definitely great. It's there. The entertainment is there. She's just so good at being like irrefutably entertaining. Like, it's juicy. And I feel like most people who pick up her book, if you're into like just kind of slice of life, or like if you honestly just want to be entertained, it's probably, and you're a woman, you'll probably love it. Anyways, she's really good. She definitely laces her books a little bit. It was so good. The book literally reminded me of like why I read, because I had read a few, like I had read The Troop and I was like, oh shit, okay. And then The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was like another banger, and I finished it so fast, and it just like made my heart break in half, but it was also so good. It's like this woman, and it's just about her life. She starts off really let's just say she was disadvantaged in like many ways, but she was really beautiful, and she found her way out to LA or to Hollywood, and just worked her way up from there. And how she does it is really, she's a really strong woman. It's really admirable, but the book also is okay with like showing her flaws and like maybe things that were kind of unethical to get where she got, and like things that she's not proud of. She just feels very real. And then this other main character is like, Evelyn Hugo is saying how she wants her to write a book about her life, and she wants this writer to help her create this book for her. And the book is going back and forth between like interviewing Evelyn Hugo in the process of writing her book, and then like Evelyn's flashbacks of her life. I'm sure you've heard all about it. It's pretty popular. Everyone talks about it. Like, I am the one who's late to the party here. But it was just honestly amazing. There was, oh my god, and I'm so into it. I love the idea of LA and of Hollywood. It's so fascinating to a lot of us. It's really fascinating. And just working your way up to the top and becoming successful. It was just so interesting. And like feeling on the inside of that is really cool. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and the glamour and then the not so glamorous parts of Hollywood. It's just very fascinating, and it had me very emotional. Everything felt so real. It felt like it was real people out there, a real biography that I just read. It was just done so brilliantly, and I'd expect nothing less from Taylor Jenkins Reid. So great read. By the way, all of these books are like at home. I moved away for school, so sorry I'm not like holding them or anything. Next book is Uzumaki by Junji Ito, and therefore what sparked my Junji Ito obsession that still exists to this day. I mean, here's this little Junji Ito pin that I got. He's obsessed with cats. So cute. I have been obsessed with Junji Ito ever since reading this book. From the minute I started, I found out about the concept of it. I was super curious, and I started reading it. I think I finished it in 2 days. It was just fantastic in every single way. He has such a fascinating mind. He knows how to write engaging horror that really feels free. Like, it's so hard to scare me, and it's like this stuff, like, just really, it's done so well. Like, even when I don't feel necessarily like fair, I'm like trembling in my boots. Like, a lot of people are when they read this, but I just think it's done so well, and the art is amazing. This is what got me into reading manga and what's got me interested in manga. Just so cool. The art is just, oh my god, I don't know how someone can be so good at both, you know. He can write so incredibly, he can draw so incredibly. It's just amazing. And this has also sparked me to like really want to start indulging in different works from really different just like find stuff from different parts of the world, because like I've never really gone down this like rabbit hole of like, I just feel like this is something that like in the West we wouldn't even like think of. Like, it's just so unique to me, like all of his ideas and how his mind works. It's fascinating, and it just makes me want to read things from different places, because it can be so different from like what we experience and like read and see in our everyday life, at least like here in the West, you know. It's just something totally different, and it was just, oh my god, I've read nothing like it. Like, nothing compares to him, which I think is what just like sparked this obsession. It's basically about this town that gets infested by spirals. It's cursed. It's just so interesting. And anyways, I love it. It sparked a serious obsession for me. I devoured this book, and it changed everything for me, and I still think about it to this day, and I can't wait till I reread it. It's amazing. If you're into horror and you've never read Junji Ito, what the fuck are you doing? Perfect of a manga. I didn't like comics. I didn't really like anything with pictures in it, and this just changed everything for me. Everything. Alrighty, so naturally, after reading Uzumaki, it was that good. I was like, I need to read more of Junji Ito's stuff. And I had heard, my boyfriend had told me about this book called No Longer Human. I can't remember the author's name, like the original author. I think it's like Osamu, wait, let me check. Oh, Osamu Dazai. Oh, I'm saying that right. Osamu Dazai, I think. This was another 5-star read for me. This is Junji Ito's adaptation of a book called No Longer Human by Osamu. And I don't even know how to explain it, because if you know what I'm talking about, you'll understand why it's so hard to explain. Maybe I should just read a part of this to you so you can understand what this is about. Just trust me and just listen to this for 5 seconds. Mine has been a life of much shame. I can't even guess myself what it must be like to live the life of a human being. Already you're like, what the hell? What the fuck do you mean? Plagued by maddening anxiety, the terrible disconnect between his own concept of happiness and the joy of the rest of the world, Yozo Oba plays the clown in his dissolute life, holding up a mask for those around him as he spirals ever downward, locked in arm with death. Osamu Dazai's immortal and supposedly autobiographical work of Japanese literature is perfectly adapted here into a manga by Junji Ito. That's another really interesting about this book. This original book, No Longer Human, is supposedly autobiographical. It's supposedly about the author himself, and it definitely makes sense. Like, as you read it, you can definitely see that, like, it's something that's so specific and feels so personal as you read it. Like, it's described almost too well, where you're like, I know this is definitely like you. Like, this is a self or insert, you know what I mean? And Junji Ito's adaptation is just fantastic. The art depicts what is going on so incredibly. Even just the first couple panels, they're in color, and it starts, this isn't a spoiler, it immediately starts like this. It starts with this couple committing suicide, and just immediately, and I'm pretty sure that this was supposed to be like the end of his life, but it starts with the end of his life. I can't confirm or deny. I'm pretty sure that was how I interpreted it when I read it, but sorry if that's a fuck up. But either way, it starts, you're instantly grabbed in. Just look at that art. I mean, just look at that art immediately on the front page. It's just absolutely fascinating. This guy does not feel human. He does not feel connected to humanity in any sort of way. He doesn't understand why we do the things that we do, and the reasons why we do things that we do. Like, what we have reasons for, like, the reasoning for why we do things just like disturbs him, and he just doesn't feel anything remotely to what a human is supposed to feel like. And it dives into his world of just trying to fill this little void he has with sex and women and drugs, and it's just so dark. It's easily the darkest thing that I've ever read, and it had a really profound impact on me. Even after I finished it, I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I watched like endless commentaries on it and videos, and trying to just understand as much as I can about this author, his life, like why he is like this, why he wrote this, how his brain worked, all these sorts of things. And Junji Ito just did such an amazing job of adapting this book. It was easily 5 stars. So next I read Yellowface, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, I listened to this as an audiobook throughout the school year when I was reading a lot of other academic works, and a lot of it went in one ear and out the other. I just wanted to get works towards my Goodreads challenge, but it clearly wasn't very worth it. I still remember a lot of it though. It just got fuzzy towards the end, really. This main character is horrible. She literally sucks. I'm not even gonna try and explain it because like I can explain it, but I'm not gonna do a good job, and it'll take forever. But she's a horrible main character. She's definitely like the epitome of just like an unlikable like protagonist. Like, she just sucks. She steals her friend's work after she chokes on a pancake, I'm pretty sure. And it's kind of reads like a thriller, which is kind of cool. I do like the way it was written a lot. And this friend like did something fucked up to her too, but like she's just a bad person. And it was interesting because this book kind of gives you an insight into like the publishing world. I mean, if you're interested in ever writing a book one day and getting it published, that's very fascinating to see inside the way of how that works and the inner workings and stuff. That was really cool. The 3 stars, I did enjoy it. It was just my fault that I got fuzzy at the end because I was just zoned out. I'm gonna go and take out all these Harry Potter books right now. I do not know if I want to do that. I do not know, but it's so satisfying when I do, so I might. Destroy my Harry Potter shelf here for a second. Let's just get out the hefty befty box right now. The World of Harry Potter. This is something that I began to indulge in this year, and honestly, it changed my entire life. And I've come to the conclusion that if you don't go through a Harry Potter phase when you're younger, it's gonna happen at some point in your life. Harry Potter does not discriminate, okay? It'll come at some point. So if you want to laugh at me for being obsessed with Harry Potter at the ripe age of 19, it's coming for you, okay? Like, you're next. So I've read Harry Potter, okay? I've actually already read the first 3 Harry Potter books in the past, but I wanted to reread them because I was like, as a reader, I can't say I'm a reader and have not read Harry Potter. You know, there's just certain things that's like, okay, I have to say I read this and I have to have read it. Harry Potter is one of those. And so I read it and I immediately oh. Is it time for the hood? It might be time for the fucking hood. Let's bust this bitch out. I read Harry Potter. I mean, instantly addicted. Was so locked in. Like, this is what really like put me in the reading era, because obviously, like, the world building is just so fantastic. Like, I was immediately transported, and like, I don't even know if I'm necessarily like an escapism reader, but like this did it for me, and I loved every second of it. The world building is fantastic. The characterization is so good. We all know these things. I became obsessed. Okay, instantly, easily 5 stars. I became obsessed with Harry Potter. This book, like, I don't know. I think it was just like a right place, right time kind of thing. I just like picked it up, and for some reason at this point in my life, like it clicked. I was like, oh shit, Harry Potter's amazing. And it sent me on this journey of Harry, and I'm still on it to this day. So obviously, naturally, I had to pick up the next Harry Potter book. I was like, oh my god, let's start. Because I bought this series a long time ago because I knew I was going to read it all. Like, I knew that was going to happen. Thank God I did, because as soon as I literally remember the night, as soon as I finished that book, I picked up Chamber of Secrets. I was like, let's keep it going. And this one, it brought it on just as well. Like, J.K. Rowling, like, we know what we know. Like, very disappointing, very unfortunate. Sucks. Like, one thing, I gotta say, like, not a single part of this book is boring. Like, there's no point where it's like, oh fuck, this is getting slow. Like, it's just continuously good after continuously good. Like, it doesn't stop. Like, it's just a constant streak of goodness. Like, it's awesome. Yeah, I give it a 4. What the hell just fell? Cover art too is just so awesome. So naturally, after reading the second book, I was like, okay, bitch, it's time for the third one. Fuck. So I read, oh my god, this is like, oh my god, one of the best covers, easily. So beautiful. And this one was like, oh my god, this was such a good book. At that point, this was the best one I had ever read. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome. And I remember there was one point in the book where I was like, oh, it's kind of getting slow. Like, I don't know why we're talking about this right now. And then at the end, like, it all came together, and I totally understood, like, why that part was, like, necessary. And it's just, like, the only singular small part in that where I was like, oh my god, the first time it got slow, wow. It, like, all came together and, like, made so much sense. And I was like, oh my god, this was fucking brilliant. And I gave it easily 5 stars. Like literally the last 150 pages was just, like, oh my god, like, crazy after crazy after crazy. It was just, I don't even know how, it was just awesome. It was literally awesome. And after this one, I think I decided to take a break. I was like, okay, let's switch this up a little bit. Like, I was like worried that the streak was not going to continue, if that makes any sense. Like, so I took a little break and I read Eclipse. Of course, I read the first 2 Twilight books already, and I'm working my way through the entire series. Like, it's definitely necessary. I actually really liked Eclipse, to be honest. I actually really enjoyed reading this. It was a good, like, book to read in between everything. I gave it 4 stars, actually. And I gotta say, like, in the movie, I'm completely Team Edward. But in the book, okay, I totally see the vision of Jacob. Like, I totally see it. I like, and it's kind of strange. Like, I don't really know what the case is. Because, like, in the books, like in Eclipse, he, like, freaked me out. Like, I was like, he's being weird. Like, he's being strange. He's being borderline creepy. But then I also felt for him so much because, like, he's so good to her, and, like, Belle's just low-key playing his ass, and I was just like, damn, this guy, like, this poor guy. And he was so sweet. He was just so sweet. Like, Twilight, I'm completely biased. It was my childhood. I loved it. There's nothing you could ever say to make me not like Twilight, okay? And that's just that. So that was really fun. Then, of course, we had to get back into Harry Potter. This, I think, is my, it's really tied between this and Order of the Phoenix for me. I finished Order of the Phoenix in 2025, so that will be next year's wrap up. But, this, I think this may have been the best. I just really love this one, is my point. It was so good. Cedric Diggory, oh my god. And just, it's completely new territory. Like, this Triwizard Tournament, Harry's like, oh my god, why is my name in the Goblet of Fire? And then he has to do all these, like, scary ass tasks, and it just keeps you so engaged, and they're constantly worried about the next task. Oh my god, what's it gonna be? How am I gonna complete it? It's just, and then everything at the end and how things go down, and plus Voldemort reveal. It's just so good. It is so good, and I loved it. I don't want to go on about it because everyone knows about Harry Potter. Like, I am so late to the game, so I won't even go into it. But I think it was the best one. And I literally remember, like, devouring the last, like, 200 pages in, like, a day or two. So this was 5 stars. Duh. Anyways, then we moved on. Opinion, best short story collection of Junji Ito's that I've read so far, in my opinion. This was so fucking good. I'm so glad I picked it up as my next Junji Ito, but we're just like banger after banger. This one, if you've read it or if you're gonna read it, this one's my favorite, the one with this pimply ass guy right here. It is so freaky, so well done. All the concepts are so unique. I mean, just like look at what's going on this cover. Like, what the fuck? It's so strange, but it kept me so locked in. And I think like too, with his characters have some very interesting storylines going on, and I just liked how like some of them were a little more like character based rather than plot based, which I really liked for a change, but it's still very much so both. And I just really liked it. Like, I don't know, something about it. It's just the short stories in this one were really up my alley. I really, really loved it. And it just reinforced further why I think Junji Ito is a literal god. Should run for president, honestly. Then after that, and I got that on Facebook Marketplace along with Smash, so I just like read them both. This one was a 4. It was a little bit less than Shiver, but it was still fucking awesome. 13 Chilling Nightmares presented by the Master of Horror. So good, like just so good. It was just the same thing. Like, I just devoured it. The art's incredible. It's stunning. It's amazing. It's Junji Ito. So I feel so bad because most of this video was just Harry Potter and Junji Ito, but that was the case this year. Hopefully if you clicked on this video, you like these things. Tomi, this one, I'm pretty sure, what did I give this? I think I actually gave this a 3. Oh, sorry, it's Tomie. I figured out it's Tomie. It's a 3. Okay. I rated this a 3 stars. And I know why. Like, Tomie is an iconic character. Don't get me wrong. She is iconic. We all love her. Well, we don't really like her, but you know, she's super cool and cool to read about. And it's literally like 800 pages, 700, 800 pages of like Junji Ito blessing our eyes with his artwork. Like, that's awesome. I just think for me, it wasn't as scary as a lot of his other works, and it is a little repetitive. But like the whole story with it was super cool. Like, I found out this was his first story that he like actually put out into the world. And, like, it was for a contest. He came up with the idea of Tomie, and it was actually for a contest that was being held in a like girls kind of horror goth magazine. Which makes so much sense. Like, the idea of Tomie was so smart because that's just, it's perfect for a girls magazine. Like, it's this chick who goes around and like tortures all these men and like drives them crazy. It's a super cool idea. It was just yeah, it was just kind of repetitive and not as scary for me. Like, it just wasn't as scary in my opinion. And I'm here for the scare. I'm here for the spooks, but also here for the artwork, which is why I still loved it. So those are all the books that I read in 2024. It was 15 books, I believe. It was a super good reading year because I figured out a lot of like what I enjoy and what I like. So I mean, that's awesome. So I loved that. I'll quickly talk about some of the things that are on my TBR because I'm getting sleepy. But as for my TBR, I have plans to read the next, okay, so I'm currently reading, let me get that. Generally, just like what's on my list for this year. More Junji Ito, obviously, like I want to read all of his works ever. I got to finish the Harry Potter series, which is what we're working on right now. I'm on Half-Blood Prince. I'm on page, I think, 300. So we're definitely working our way through this one. And then I'm only gonna have one more left after this, which is crazy. I've seen up to movie 5, and then I watch the movies as I read the books. So it's a really fun little thing to indulge in for me. This cover is one of my favorites. So beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah, awesome. If you want to see what I've read so far in 2025, go to my Goodreads. I'm already at 4 books, I believe. This was awesome so far. I also plan on reading more manga in general. I plan on reading Akira. I have that. And then I also want to read Nana because I started reading Nana. Here, it's right here. Now listen, if you're a teenage girl or if you've been a teenage girl, Nana is for you. Well, I won't say that because I know like it's supposed to get very triggering. There's a lot of sensitive subjects brought up. Like, definitely do your research because it's definitely like, it isn't for everyone. It is not for everyone. It contains like heavy subject matter, and I've only read the first one so far, but I've heard it's just like lots of people warned me against reading it and said it was like super traumatizing. And they were just like disturbing. It's one of the saddest manga ever. So naturally I had to pick it up. But I read the first one and I'm obsessed. Like, I haven't stopped thinking about it every day. I'm like, when is a good time to reread Nana? It's just amazing. I'm gonna quickly show you my favorite panel. Oh, let me show you this panel too, because it's just so beautiful. Like, look at the way she makes the city lights glow. It's just like and I've already like made a video on my channel about me yapping about it, but the art is just so beautiful and lovely and girly and gorgeous. And like, oh my god, this is my favorite panel in the whole book. I've literally shown like a million people by now. I've posted on Bisco, I've posted a YouTube video about it. It's just beautiful. The city lights are glowing, they're kissing. This is the epitome of desire. Oh my god, it's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. It's the only other thing other than A Little Life that has made my heart physically ache. Like, I just relate to it. The first Nana so much, and it's awesome. It's just, it's so good, and it had me like locked in from the start. Okay, I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. I'm gonna start the second one on Sunday, because I'm finally gonna get the other Nana, which I left at home, thank God, and I'm gonna get to keep reading it, thank God. I also plan on reading Riley Sager. I really want to get into Riley Sager. I've heard from so many people they kind of have like a love and hate relationship with him, and his books. Like, usually I've heard like they're all really good, just the endings are kind of ass, but I've heard some books are really good too. This is one of them that I've heard really good things about, and it's the one that I think kind of interests me the most. Plus the cover's pink and it's so cute, and I'm really excited to read it. Really excited. And then the last thing I'd say is I also want to read more Stephen King. I read more just like thriller and horror in general. My teacher was super kind and he lent me Misery. He actually just lent me Salem's Lot as well, and I finished that with like flying colors. Like, flew through it, just absolutely really enjoyed it. I've read a few Stephen King. The Body, The Stand, and Billy Summers, and now Salem's Lot, and now it's gonna be Misery, and I'm super excited because this is supposed to be really good, like beginner's book into Stephen King, which to me I'm just like, okay, it's like good, it's just like accessible, it's good. So I'm really excited to read this. It's not too long either, which is super nice. And I think that's all I really have for you guys. Oh, when I say more Junji Ito, I thought I didn't have any more works of Junji Ito. Oh, fuck. But would you look at that? I forgot that I bought his biography. Super excited to read his biography. If I like a person and their work, you're always gonna catch me trying to understand them and read their biography. So I'm so excited to read this. And then, yeah, that's really it for the most part. And I also want to get into some more Edgar Allan Poe. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I didn't yap your ear off and piss you off. Well, you probably have already clicked off if you didn't like it, but that's okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any book recommendations, let me know. I'm open to so many things. I love thrillers, I love slice of life, I love contemporary, I like philosophy, I like horror, but I'm open to lots of things. I'm trying to get more into fantasy, so yeah, just honestly let me know anything. Self-help books, like, just tell me whatever, and just tell me what you're reading right now in general. So I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to subscribe. I'm posting a lot more consistently now, and I hope you enjoyed this just little comfy yap session about books. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have the best day of your freaking life.